This is the match we've all been waiting for. The ultimate. I was going to say penultimate, but that is not true. That means the one before the ultimate. This is the ultimate. This is the grand finals. And they're pretty grand. These are two of the best players in the world here. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Dynasty. He seems to make his way into just about every single EPT Cup Finals. It is System Gaming's a Max Packs here once again, but this time instead of facing Clem or Dark or whoever else he faces all the time, he's got to face one of the OGs who used to win the EPT Cups all the time. Kind of sat back, gave everybody else a chance, but returned this week. Try to take that crown back once again. For Basilisk, it is Rainer. I mean, we do see Max Packs versus Clem all the time in the finals, but I have a feeling things would look a little bit different if Rainer played every week as well. You know, it's good to see him here playing in the finals once again. Max Packs checking for the base, but doesn't check the other side. Like, I feel like if he just sends the probe here, he spots that. So that's a bit unfortunate for him, because he sees this early pool that Rainer's got going on. I don't know if he saw those drones move out either. If he was paying attention, these drones, he should have just seen those, right? Oh no, Rainer, keep that drone there. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I feel like Max Packs knows that this base is over here. He's taking his own gold. The nice thing here for Rainer is that this one has the Rich Vespine Geyser on this side of the gold. So he's going to have some extra gas mining. Going to give him the ability to do something cheeky here, should he want to. It's kind of interesting that this is... we have the Rich Vespine Geyser and the gold minerals like way back here. It's obviously going to be tough for Rainer to defend, but it's not a great offensive position. A lot of times when we would see a base that had this kind of a setup, it'd be kind of out in the middle, right? Where it's tough to defend, but we'd see a lot of players like Dark, Bly, who would take that Rich Geyser and use the creep spread to like push forward into their opponent. You can't really do that with this though. So I'm interested in what Rainer is going to use this for. I feel like you have to do some aggression with this, because otherwise you're going to be stuck defending things like an Adept sneaking back here, or, I mean, really just anything. Any pressure on this base is going to be hard to defend. The creep spread has a long way to go to connect to the main base. But for right now, we're just seeing Rainer go for link speed, not really doing anything special. And Max Packs is treating this pretty normally as well. He's got a couple of Adepts that he's going to just continue to threaten with. These Adepts can be very annoying if they're able to get back here, and he finally will let that Shade finish. The drones are going to have to pull away. Oh no, Rainer needs to be careful not to lose any of that gas mining. Yeah, these Adepts, the double Adept here is super annoying. I think there's more Adepts coming in. Yeah, one more going to try to show up and target down some drones, as these two will get killed. I think the two Queens here will stop too much damage from going down in the gold. But now the Oracle comes in and there's no Spore Crawler. Oh, and that is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 popped drones by this Oracle, bringing the total up to 7. So Rainer taking the gamble with this gold base, and so far Max Packs has done a great job punishing for it. Been a lot of lost mining time. And Rainer still doesn't have another base. Looks like he is going to take this one now. This still feels very late, though. I mean, Max Packs literally already has a third, like, halfway done. So this is very unfortunate for Rainer. This feels like it's put him in not a great spot. And I'm still not sure what he's going to use this gas for. He's got 250 gas sitting in the bank. His lair's on the way. Now he's taking double gas in the main. This feels kind of insane. I'm waiting to see the plan come to fruition here. Oh my god, still no Spore Crawler. It is triple Queen. But these Oracles really... Ooh, they're trying to get something done here. I believe the Oracles spotted... Oh, they didn't spot any of the gas. That's big. Oh, and what... They did spot something here that got canceled. I'm not sure what that was. Interesting. Hydroden goes down now. There's the tag. MaxPax confirms this was canceled. Oh, and it looks like he is going to be able to click on this and see that the Hydroden is on the way up, despite the tag not quite hitting it. He was blinking +1 on the way for MaxPax, which is fairly expected in this matchup. Would have been good against Roaches, but I don't know. I feel like Ling Hydra actually could be quite nice here for Raynor. He's going to have a lot of gas to spend on these Hydralisks. He's already even taking one at the third. Damn. This is essentially a 5th gas because this is giving him double gas. It is worth noting he's going to run out of this very quickly because you're pulling 8 at a time instead of 4. Stalker's starting to push forward. Hydras are out, but they don't have either of their upgrades just yet. Lurkerden is on the way. MaxPax is getting very aggressive. Warping in on the front lines here. He's going to drop a proxy gateway. He's got another proxy pylon. He wants to get the aggression going, get it cooking before these Hydras are fully ready. He's already taken down a couple of Hydras here. Oracles can help out as well if the Lings get a little too far away from the Hydras. Those Oracles can turn on and just help whittle the wings down. MaxPax making this so difficult, attacking from multiple angles. Ooh, there's a stasis ward, catches 3 Hydras on the bottom side. Another one caught a bunch of Lings over here as well. Raynor really struggling to defend this right now. He's trying to get a few Lurkers up in hopes that that will help him out against these Blink Stalkers, but I feel like a small Lurker count, Blink Stalkers actually do okay against that. And of course, he's not going to have upgrades for them either. Some Zealots coming in now as well to help buffer for the Lings. Lurkers need to get burrowed. Oh my god, they've all been tagged. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. Now it's just 1 Lurker here for Raynor. Not the scariest thing in the world. Stalker's going to blink forward. Oh, Transfuse keeps it alive for a little while, but it finally does fall. Stasis Trap's catching even more Lings. And this push from MaxPax is feeling like it might be a game ender here. He's going to blink over, take the fight against the Lings and Hydras, grabs a few units. Raynor really pushed back up against the corner here. He's got a Lurker. Will this Lurker fit through the gap here? I guess we're about to find out. The hard part here for Raynor is, again, because the bases are so split that he's having a tough time defending both sides. There was a Lurker over here, but there is no longer a Lurker over here. Lings and Hydras trying to come up and help defend this base. Another Lurker shows up, but it doesn't matter. It's too late. GG gets called. And MaxPax takes game number 1. I mean, that was just a clean game from MaxPax. He saw that Raynor was set up to do something cheeky, but it didn't feel like Raynor's plans were able to come to fruition, right? With the Adept harass, the Oracle harass, but even just MaxPax's constant scouting, I think Raynor was trying to do something a little cheekier and a little earlier, but because he kept being scouted and then harassed, that plan was kiboshed, and he decided to go straight towards Lurkers. But MaxPax's follow-up attack just hit way too early, way too strong, and didn't allow Raynor to get up into those powerful units. Really well played there by MaxPax. Again, just excellent scouting, keeping an eye on what his opponent's doing, not letting anything get by him. I think that's one of MaxPax's big strengths, is not being caught off guard by things. And he's a really smart player. If he knows what his opponent's doing, he's very good at figuring out how to counter that and how to take advantage of that, as we saw last game. Now we're getting into game number 2. We're going to be here on Crimson Court. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner is, of course, System Gaming's MaxPax. And his highly esteemed Zerg opponent in the lower left. For Basilisk, it's Raynor. MaxPax out here to block this base, forcing Raynor to take a third. Raynor going to take a forward third? Oh my god. What a move. So Raynor's bringing some cheeky builds to the party here. We saw him play a very solid, very straightforward macro match against Spirit earlier. But this one against MaxPax, he's bringing out some builds here. And MaxPax, he saw that drone head out, and he saw... I mean, he must have seen the drone not turn the corner, right? So he might be expecting this, especially after last game. Another Rich Vespine Geyser base here. But this is more what I was talking about last game. Is more where I expect to see these bases placed. This is a very vulnerable position for this base, but it is much closer to MaxPax. And we might see Raynor try to get some Ravagers out, try to push the front. MaxPax is very good at defending this. Some of the first matches I ever cast MaxPax playing was against Bly back in the day. And Bly used to do these kinds of builds all the time. I have distinct memory of MaxPax like defending Bly's Ravagers. Bly was very good though. He would crack through sometimes, especially back in those days before the shield battery was like it is now. We got all these bots in chat trying to advertise for cheap viewers and best viewers. Do you think the best viewers are more expensive? Maybe I should click one of those links one of these times. JK, don't ever click those links.
Game paused.
Oh no, Raynor clicked one of the links. Oh no, dude. MaxPax has scouted the creep here, so he knows where that base is. We're going to hop out of game just while we wait for this. Okay, never mind. We're going to hop back in game. We're unpausing. Excellent. Good work. But of course, another Stargate. MaxPax rarely ever opens any other way. So, going to do the same kind of thing. Try to harass with these Adepts. Try to harass with the Oracles. See if he can get something done to Raynor, who's trying to be greedy here and try to get some you know, extra gas. Second Adept comes up. Ling's going to get on top of it. Focus down one of those Adepts. Good focus fire there from Raynor. I still don't know like what Raynor's game plan with this is, because it feels like it should be hitting already, you know. And he didn't even take the gas right away. Maybe he's trying to force MaxPax to overcommit to something, but that's another like MaxPax strength. He seldomly just like puts down a bunch of static defense or something. He puts down exactly what he needs to defend whatever you're throwing at him. And he sees Raynor doesn't have anything super crazy on the way, so... I guess if nothing else, it might be delaying MaxPax's third. But MaxPax is going to take the forward third also. Oh my god. These bases are going to be so close together. Well, Link's trying to get on top of the Adept. Looks like they will. This Oracle, I don't think has enough juice to really do anything about it. And it finally turns on just to kill a couple of these Lings. 6 roaches are on the way. Raynor's finally doing something aggressive here. This is what we like to see. And we'll see if we can get anything done. Blink is on the way. But I feel like Raynor needs to get damage onto MaxPax before those Blink Stalkers are ready again. I think MaxPax knows this is coming, though. He's got another shield battery on the way, a backup pylon as well. But Raynor is here. He's on his doorstep. It's a very close base to where Raynor expanded to. Shield battery is about to finish. He can use it to heal the pylon. The pylon's going to get taken out anyways, though. Oracle will turn on and start targeting down one of the Ravagers. But it runs out of juice because of those Lings earlier. And this game plan seems to be working much better for Raynor. Super shield battery turns on, but it dies immediately. There's a backup battery. But it is just going to be a regular one, and these roaches are still here causing problems. Probe's getting pulled, tanking a lot of this damage, so the Stalkers have a chance to push the roaches back. Some Lings came out behind this, but it is just drones and a lair here for Raynor. He's not super committed to this. I don't know. I feel like maybe he should have stayed committed to this a little bit longer. But Blink is about to finish now. MaxPax, he's got this base up and running. It's down a few workers, but that's pretty normal in this matchup. And I think the Blink Stalkers can start putting counter pressure on shortly. Oracle's already checking around, see what's going on. I like MaxPax's position in this game. I'm worried once again for Raynor. This is a better position for Raynor right now than last game. The bases all make a lot more sense together, especially once this fourth base comes up. I think Raynor will be in a good setup. He's got the creep spread in the middle here that MaxPax is going to have to clear before anything happens. But I still generally kind of like MaxPax's position. Raynor, though, he's not going for a Ling Hydra and trying to rush into Lurker. He's got a much more solid, stronger early game army. And I think he's going to be able to fight these Blink Stalkers quite a bit better. A lot of Roach Ravager here. Oh, Lings dive forward. Stasis Trap does catch quite a few of them. But at least the Roach Ravager are safe. More Stalkers warping in. Lings looked like they wanted to do a counterattack, but quite a bit of static defense around here. MaxPax seems pretty buttoned up. Bane speed almost done, as is Roach speed. These are slow Roaches still. The tags here from these Oracles are really, really nice for MaxPax as well. He can keep an eye on the army, knows exactly where it is and what the composition is. We're starting to see Banelings morph. Speaking of Banelings, here they come in from the backside. Oh, they're going to try to get on top of this. Taking down the pylon, taking down some of this static defense, and then just going to be used on the backside. Oh my god, these probes, they have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And 19 of them go down, and Raynor is going to keep pushing forward. And this Roach Ravager Baneling force seems like it's going to be real strong here against MaxPax. MaxPax pulls back, turns on the Super Shield Battery, but he's going to lose his fourth base. He's lost 20 probes. The Stalkers are going to push this away. But does MaxPax have enough of an ability to reproduce to take these trades? Going to just retake this base. This is MaxPax's third base. I feel like I called it a fourth at some point in there, but no. It's Raynor who's on 4 bases. He's only on 63 drones, though, so that was kind of necessary damage, but I think he did plenty of damage to make up for his low eco. Wouldn't hate to see him pop up to 75 now, but why go up higher on workers when you could just kill more of your opponent's workers? Stop them from mining. Does look like the Lings are going to get cleaned up here, but yeah, good target fire. Gets a few extra workers. Speaking of which, though, Oracle's going to dive in here and get 5 drones, but one of the Oracles falls. The other one gets very low. A bit of trade and trade alike here. Raynor's going to start replacing some of those workers. Again, wouldn't hate to see him try to pop up to a really nice worker count off the back of this, but he's focused on building army right now. Wants to make sure he can win the fight against these Blink Stalkers. A lot of Ling Bane here. Handful of Ravagers with the Roaches out front. Uh-oh, and this third base might be in trouble again. We see more Lings getting into the main. Oh, and MaxPax, the door continuing to be open here as the Banelings roll through. They're not as good against Stalkers as they once were, but you know what? They're still pretty good. And GG gets called as Raynor ties the series up, takes game number 2 off of MaxPax. Oh. I knew this was going to be a banger. Raynor's like, all right, I guess Roaches are pretty good. Can't just skip them and go straight to Hydras. Yeah, I feel like MaxPax wanted to do like a similar thing to what he did in game 1, but the Roach Ravager there really, it's a much different thing than Ling Hydra, especially with those Banelings coming in. I mean, that was the real way to seal the deal there for Raynor. The Banelings from the backside just forcing MaxPax into a tough spot. He had nowhere to go. The probes couldn't escape. The Stalkers kept trying to blink backwards, but even they had to be careful with all those Banes. Really well played on that map by Raynor. All right, now game 3 is going to be on Amphion. That should be interesting. As soon as our players are ready, we'll get going. Get loading in. It's been a really good match so far. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube, where I do post all of my best and favorite games that I cast in the week. Follow my Twitch channel. I really appreciate that. I was trying to figure out how to make a follower goal on Twitch. It's a thing you can do now. I couldn't figure it out. I'm not smart enough. My Twitch knowledge is, it has dwindled, it seems. But you know what hasn't dwindled? It's the skills of these players. As spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Amphion, it is Psystorm Gaming's MaxPax. Started off strong in game 1, but his opponent in the upper left able to tie us up. For Basilisk Gaming, it's Raynor. I feel like we're on some, I don't know, interesting maps here. God, Raynor again. He's just skipping the natural? There's not even a probe here. Is he just assuming there was going to be a probe there? Yeah, like, he's like, wait a minute. There's actually no probe? Cyberjohn, that was real close. I looked down and I saw the bot message, and I was like, my instincts, I almost just insta-ban you. That's gotta be dangerous. That's a dangerous one right there. Nice meme. Nice meme. Appreciate you. Yeah, these bots coming in saying they got the best viewers. They don't know, dude. I already have the best viewers. If you're watching this right now, if you're listening to this right now, you are the best viewer. It's you. I don't need to buy them. I already have them. Shout out to you all. Shout out to y'all. I've been trying to mix y'all into my vocabulary a little bit more. I actually used to say y'all kind of, not like a lot, but more often. You know, I try to move away from too much gendered language. And you guys, that's one that really, it stuck with me. You know, I've been saying that since I was a little kid. And it's always been gender neutral to me. I will say you guys absolutely to literally anybody of any gender. So that one's been tough for me to lose. But y'all's a good one. Y'all is the best non-gender specific way to talk to a group of people. But you kind of have to say it with the drawl. You gotta say y'all. Can't be like y'all. Gotta be y'all. You know what I mean? How y'all doing today? Can't be like, how are y'all today? Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You know what does work often is MaxPax's harassment here. He's very good at this. And it's very annoying. I've actually seen him straight up win games with like maybe 4 Adepts and 2 Oracles against some of the best Zerg players in the world. I'm not talking about winning a game against somebody he's a lot better than. I've seen him just like straight up beat Dark with this kind of harassment before. So it's something that Raynor has to be very conscious of and has to really pay attention to. And this Oracle already being a little bit sketchy, moving around when there's no Spore Crawlers. Going to get a couple of drones. 5 drones in total here, but that was for 2 Adepts. Ooh, never mind, gets the 6th one. Hot dang. Type /goal, Sergeant Sadsack. You're really coming in clutch here. Oh my god, look at that. That's incredible. Alright, I'm going to hold on to that information for later. Thank you, Sergeant Sadsack. More like Sergeant Helpful Sack. Or more like Major Sadsack. I think you might have earned a promotion with that one. I actually don't know like ranks all that well and like who outranks who. I think Captain is higher than Sergeant, right? So maybe she should be Captain Sadsack. I feel like Major is one step above that though, right? Or maybe even more than one step above Captain. I don't know. You guys out there probably know. Y'all out there probably know. Damn. See? Told you. Sneaks right in. Anyways, MaxPax has gotten a lot of damage done in this game. For 4 Adepts, he's killed 14 drones and 8 Lings. This is a fantastic opening for MaxPax. Really, truly fantastic. And these Oracles are still being very threatening here. They're going to get one more drone. Back up. We've seen how helpful the Oracles have been in other games as well. Just tagging units and stasis traps and everything. I'm going to be able to spot this 4th base on the way up. MaxPax's 3rd is already done, so this is a great opening for MaxPax right now. It is interesting that he decided to expand inside this little left-hand corridor here. And it looks like he wants to try to put some pressure on. Ooh, that pylon's in a good spot. The Overlord is not going to spot it. And, yeah, the Blink Stalker is going to be able to get in here over the minerals. But Raynor, maybe you're already thinking about this. He's starting to take down these rocks. MaxPax does not have vision on these rocks. That's actually really important. As I say that, the Oracles are going to fly directly over those Lings. Lings take a long time to chew through debris. Chew through the rocks. And Raynor's going to need everything he has back at home. But he has no way to get in here right now, and that's a real problem. He'd have to go through this wall, through here, and all the way up. And I don't think MaxPax is going to let him do that. So now Raynor's going to have to defend with this obstacle in his way. Well, there's the first blink forward. The Lings are going to try to get on top of this. Actually going to get some decent surface area on these Stalkers. A couple of them will go down before the rest are able to blink away. Ah, 2 Adepts sneak in as well. This is such an annoying position for them, and they're going to keep on shading forward as the Stalkers come back in. Oh, stasis traps. So many stasis traps. Jeez, excuse me. I'm allergic to stasis traps. Roaches are coming out now for Raynor. That's going to help him quite a bit. This pressure from MaxPax is really tough to deal with. Queen's starting to get hit here as the Lings and Roaches try to come in and defend this. The Stalker's blinking backwards. More stasis traps going down. The Oracle's going to turn on and help out in this fight as well, at least distracting the Queens. The Lings and Roaches doing their darndest here, but the Stalker's just blinking back over the minerals, taking an incredibly efficient trade. Over 1,000 resources in favor of MaxPax, and we are still under 4K resources lost for each. Ravager's starting to morph, though. Oh my god, we have a massive Zealot Warping over here. These aren't even charge lots, these are just slow Zealots, but still so annoying to deal with, and Raynor needs this 4th base alive. He's down in workers. MaxPax is taking a 5th base up here while keeping this pressure on. The Lings do successfully push back the Zealots, but MaxPax's position is fantastic right now, and Raynor is struggling to deal with this push. MaxPax really doing a great job taking advantage of this map. The map features here. Using them to his advantage, and if Raynor had been able to break these rocks down, we might have a different story here, but right now MaxPax is just free to do whatever he wants inside here. As long as he keeps his door closed, there's no way for Raynor to really get in. With all this pressure, drones can't mine this out because the Stalkers will just kill them. Although I wouldn't hate to see Raynor trying to mine this out right now. While the pressure is somewhere else, send a couple of drones over there maybe. Let's try to get through those mineral lines. MaxPax is getting it real set up. He's got a cannon on the way. I'm sure there'll be more static defense there as well, making it even more difficult for Raynor to take fights over here. Raynor, oh, he's going to drop a Nidus Swarm. Oh, that's such a smart idea. Hadn't even considered that. We've got Zealots diving into the main base. The Stalker is going to hit towards the 3rd at the same time. Oh, Raynor struggling to deal with these Stalkers. These are the real threat. The Zealots get cleaned up, but like the Blink Stalkers here doing such a fantastic job fighting this out, and again being so cost efficient for MaxPax, who's now almost 2,000 resources ahead and the resources lost. Yeah, these Stalkers just doing a great job. Zealot's going to come in now as well to help buffer against the Lings. Archon's even joining the fight. Oh my god, there's 7 Swarm Hosts on the way. The Nidus Swarm is done, but can Raynor hold on until then? 10, 12 Swarm Hosts. I mean, I like this plan for Raynor, but I feel like he's just going to struggle to deal with this. Oh, is the Zealots coming in the backside of the Prism even going to escape the Biles? Oh, and one Zealot ends up at the end of this fight, just doing so much damage. Swarm Hosts pop out, but the Locust not winning the fight against the Stalkers either. And I think I saw a couple of those Swarm Hosts die. And I just don't think Raynor's going to have enough here. 13 more drones falling. Zealots warping in at this 4th base. That's going to die. The Nidus Swarm pops, but the GG gets called as MaxPax's aggression take out Raynor before he's even able to get into the Swarm Host Nidus. I like the idea of that on this map, especially with MaxPax expanding behind that wall on the left-hand side there. I feel like Swarm Host Nidus makes a lot of sense. But the aggression from MaxPax just getting way too much done there. And by the time those Swarm Hosts came out, honestly, Raynor was pretty much already dead. GG. I'm glad somebody decided to use the sneeze emote. I always feel bad sneezing, especially in the middle of like play-by-play. But when I have the sneeze emote, it makes me feel a little bit better about it. All right, looks like Raynor needs a moment. We'll be getting into Alcyone Game 4. Just a couple of minutes. That'll give me time to try to set up a follower goal here. I'm trying to get to 6K followers on Twitch. That seems like a reasonable goal. There you go. We added a follower goal. Good to go. Thanks again, Sergeant Sadsack. You love Rainer versus Max Packs. You can feel the hatred for each other's races. Love it. Goddamn Zerg, so OP. All right, we're getting into game 4. Took us a minute, but you know, be worth the wait. Be worth the wait. All right, let's hop on in here. Game number 4, spawning in the lower left-hand corner. Our Basilisk Zerg player has to win the next 2 in a row to take this finals. It is Rainer. I would ask the rhetorical question, can he do it? But we all know that he, in fact, can do it. But his opponent's going to try to stop him. Obviously, that is kind of the goal of the game. As on match point here, it is Psystorm's Max Packs. Max Packs, of course, looking extremely strong, not only in this series, but just in general. It is such a shame that we cannot get him to play at major offline tournaments. I hope that one day we'll be able to convince him to do it. I mean, he's streaming, right? So that's like a step closer. He's got an audience. I would hope that one day we could get him to an offline event, but, you know, if he doesn't want to go, he doesn't have to. He can just keep playing in these weeklies and absolutely outclassing every other Protoss in the world. But man, it's every time we get to a big event and I see like Hero or Classic as the only Protoss in the top 8, and I know there's a very good chance if Max Pax was there playing in top form, he'd be in the top 8 also. And that feeling of like, oh, Protoss just doesn't have anything, huh? It would feel a little better if Protoss had a little bit more. I mean, at least he can play in the online stuff, but it's a big loss for Protoss when your best player can't go to the events. Rainer, of course, can go to events, and we'll be going to the next big event. See how he does there. Speaking of events, there's going to be a Stormgate tournament in like a couple weeks in Korea. I think Tasteless is putting it on, or at least hosting it. So that'll be cool. It'll be the first LAN Stormgate tournament. I was thinking about running a Stormgate tournament. I would like to. I actually, I genuinely, by pure happenstance, happen to have some good days off to potentially do some Stormgate streaming next week. So, you know, I think I'm going to give the game its fair shot in its most complete state yet. The early access will be beginning at some point. So, hoping to do that soon. Yeah, I wanna really play. I haven't played the third race at all.
Oh man, Chickenman. Wow.
Oh, Senju. Senju, thanks so much for the resub. 31 months. Oh my god. That does mean you got home, as you've been here the whole broadcast on your work account. But thank you so very much for that resubscription. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. You know, these days I don't stream quite as much as I used to. Don't have as many subscribers, especially since they raised the price of subscribing a little bit. So I really have a lot of appreciation for everybody who has continued to support the channel in whatever ways work best for you. As I have been trying to get a little bit back into it a little bit more lately. Sometimes we got to take breaks. Showtime has been crushing it though. I'm excited to see Showtime back into that like top form. I feel like for a while there, maybe it was like the meta, which didn't feel like it was working for him. But I feel like he's figured out some good stuff, and he's been looking really strong lately. I'm just excited for it. I mean, Showtime is he's always been one of my favorites. Oracle's gonna force a cancel on this base. That is annoying. Didn't even get the drone. R.I.P. But we've got some adepts shading in as well, so 5 adepts coming in here. Oh, I expected to look back and see the adepts doing stuff. But, oh, okay, they went over here. I was like, did they die? What happened? No, they just went back to the middle of the map. They're just poking out, being annoying. It is Blink behind this. This is very common. MaxPax playing the absolute standard. No glaive adepts, which I'm a little surprised by. I've seen a lot of Protoss players hitting the glaive adept button lately, but MaxPax feeling a bit stronger about his Blink Stalker play, and that's fair to him because it's been doing pretty damn well so far. Rainer's gonna, I mean, he's got a Roach Warren, but it feels like he's trying to skip Roaches. Just been staying on Lings, heading now towards the Hydrogen and the Infestation Pit. That feels like the Roach Warren was a safety Roach Warren, just so that game 1 didn't get repeated. But this is the first game where we haven't seen really anything super cheeky on either side. Like even last game, MaxX is really utilizing the map against Rainer, but this map feels a lot more standard, I guess, or a lot more, I don't know, easier to get to the macro games than the maps we've been on so far, which the players have really tried to do kind of cheeky things on, be a little aggressive on. Rainer was obviously expanding to bases with Rich Vespine geysers and such in games 1 and 2. Looks like that base is going to be forced to be canceled. Good cancel there by Rainer. Resets it immediately. Stalkers will run away. Job done. But this is going to be the first time we see Rainer just expand normally and be able to play out a macro game against MaxPax. Last game it was close to it, but MaxPax was just putting that aggression on so quickly. Again, using the map to his advantage really nicely. And it's going to be a little bit harder for him to do that this game. Ooh, Storm is on the way. Charge is on the way here. Storm's going to be obviously very good against Ling Hydra. But I do imagine that Rainer is going to be heading towards, hey, look at that, Lurkers. As the Lurker Den is done, the Hive is almost done for those upgrades. So MaxPax is going to need some anti-Lurker stuff. I guess Robos are the option here, as he's got double Robo on the way, and Immortal's already getting pumped out, so he's going to go heavy Immortal to try to counteract this. I think that's an excellent choice. He's also going to try to keep the pressure onto Rainer, keep Rainer off of his back, because it looks like Rainer wants to get aggressive right now. Oh my god, but these Queens in perfect position, and MaxPax just sends that Prism in. Two Zealots drop, and they are both just going to die pretty much immediately here. Great defense from Raynor. He must have spotted that prism with a Ling or something. That means Raynor can keep this aggression on. He defends back at home very easily. And now it's going to be up to MaxPax to defend. Ooh, these High Templar. There's no Banelings here for Raynor. I wouldn't hate to see a couple of Banelings. You know, High Templar are pretty susceptible to Banelings, as are Charge Lots, but he's just going to dive forward with a bunch of Lurkers and start hitting this static defense. The Lurkers do get tagged, at least most of them do. Queens are coming up as well for this. That's actually kind of insane, as more Lurkers are being morphed. Lurker's going to move forward. Immortals try to come up and gun them down. The Lings will defend them, and then the Storm's going to hit the Lings. It's such a back and forth. The Queens cannot transfuse out here because they are off creep. More Storms going down. It's a lot of Lurkers. 14 Lurkers still out on the field. Oh. A couple of those units walk a little bit too far forward. MaxPax has a whole nother army over here. I don't know. Maybe he needs to just get a surround on this. Raynor is pulling back with the Queens, and I mean, his Lings and Hydras are really nowhere to be found. This is almost entirely just Lurkers. He does have a Nidus Worm coming up to try to, I assume, reinforce this. MaxPax has decided to let his 4th base go down, and I think he wants to try to hit this from both sides. Raynor's got a Nidus Worm here as well. Oh my god, and he's dropping a Nidus in the main base. And MaxPax is going to struggle to deal with. He's going to go for the recall into the main. But Raynor, I mean, he doesn't have to let everything out of this. He could. Oh, and he's going to go for it. Oh my god, there's no detection here. It's just the cannon. These Immortals, they're running forward. Oh, there's the tag. Oh, he's going to get. He is going to clear them. Oh my god, it's so dangerous though. But now the Lurkers pop out down here. However, Raynor's going to run into the rest of the army. As the Lings get caught largely in a stasis trap, there's another stasis back here, and the Archon's going to bully them away. MaxPax defending on his 3 bases right now. Taking down the Nidus Worms, taking down the Lurkers, pushing everything away. That being said, Raynor back at home is on 5 bases. He's got a great drone count. Does feel like he could expand, and he's going to go for it. Thinking maybe double expand, but just single expand for now. As more Lurkers are on the way. Adrenals started up. Raynor doesn't have a ton of upgrades, so he is starting to work on the double Evo chamber upgrades now. Another Nidus Worm going to try to come up, but it is going to be shut down immediately. This one is still here. But as I say that, MaxPax is looking to take it out. Ooh, he's getting caught by some of these Lurkers, taking some damage. And his army's a little split right now. Be careful. It's just a dead Immortal there. It's something MaxPax can't really afford to lose. He does have a very big army, though. Now that I look at it, that army supply is huge. And, I mean, it's powerful. 9 Immortals, 7 Archons. There's not a lot of chaff in this army. Just a few gateway units. But this is a very strong army. MaxPax is going to split it up. He's going to kill this base straight up. Grabs a Lurker to start off this fight. At the same time, he's pushing up down here. Pushing up down here. Yeah, he's pushing up the ramp. He's going to kill those Overlords. Raynor knows he's coming now. He's going to be able to get into position. So Raynor does lose a base. But it is still 5 bases to 4 as MaxPax's new 4th is set up. Triple Immortal production. But the Greater Spire is almost done here for Raynor. And I think his plan is to trade out some of these units and then get into Broodlords, which MaxPax really doesn't have much of an answer for. He does have Blink. The Blink Stalkers can obviously be a good answer, a decent answer for that. Although on only 8 gateways, it's going to be tough for him to get up a number of Stalkers he's going to need. As Broodlords can still cause a lot of problems for units like Immortals and High Templar. Knight is trying to come up in the main base again. The cheeky Lurker down here. There's a lot of cannons at this base now, though. Actually, nothing in this Nidus. It's the classic Zerg move, is to get the Nidus up successfully, but have nothing in it. Oh, nice little Zealot run by here from MaxPax. He's going to force the cancel on the base. Spine Crawlers over here, though, so they're probably not going to be able to do too much. Another Nidus pops up and dies immediately. Oh, Zealot's got, I think they got 1 queen here, maybe 2. Oh, MaxPax is bringing the army over. There are lurkers here, spine crawlers, and hydras. Oracle gets the tag off, but it does go down. Two Stargates going down, +1 started up for the ship weapons. Already a mothership out, which means the fleet beacon's already been done for a while. So while Raynor is trying to get into some Broodlords here, and he is going to successfully start hitting these units, there's no Stalkers with this army. The Broodlord's going to be pretty free to do what they want right now. But MaxPax is heading towards air of his own. Oh my god. Oh, the lurkers on the backside. Oh, and suddenly MaxPax is realizing his army is caught. There's an Archon as he recalls. This Immortal is left behind. But at the same time, MaxPax is moving in on the left-hand side. He's got the Time Warp going down. And Raynor's going for the counterattack instead of dealing with this. So MaxPax kills a base. He already used his recall, so he can't recall again. Raynor is going to kill the 4th while losing his 6th. Broodlords want to come in and be part of this fight as well, helping to push this back. Not a lot of anti-Broodlord measure in this army. There's the recall from MaxPax. I guess he does have another recall now. He gets that army back home. Raynor's economy is not that great. Like, both players are on have a lower economy than I think they'd like to be. The Broodlords start shelling away again, but we've got Tempest coming out here for MaxPax, and these are going to be +1 Tempest very shortly. We're going to need some Corruptors out maybe to deal with these. There are a couple out, but not a ton. Obviously, there are the Hydras as well. The Hydra's going to have a tougher time getting underneath those Tempests than the Corruptors would getting on top of them. But this push right now, MaxPax struggling to deal with it. And while losing that 4th was painful, losing this base is even more painful. 28 probes have gone down. He's stopping the Niduses still, yes, but this is just so difficult for MaxPax to deal with. His economy is in the absolute dumps right now. Huge advantage here for Raynor. MaxPax is, I mean, he is mining, but like barely mining. And these are going to start mining out very soon. Probe's trying to long distance mine, but they're getting hit by the few lings that were left over here. And Raynor is going to retake that 6th base. 68 drones, not a huge drone count, but he knows his opponent isn't on a great worker count either. Oh, these lings. These lings going to stop the probes. Oh, no, wait. The Zealots will come save them. Good job, Zellies. The one thing I will say for MaxPax is he had a bit of a bank, which means he was able to afford quite a few carriers already. He's got 2 out. He's got 3 more on the way. Still a little bit of money behind that. Oh, Mama gets caught, though. Some Zealots do as well. But Raynor going to move in over here, and there's not a lot of defense of this base just yet. Raynor is showing up with some lurkers. Doesn't have a ton of anti-air right now. More Corruptors are on the way out. He's got 8 of them out. Oh, Ling's going to run by. Going to try to get on top of this. I think they're going to force the cancel, yeah. Raynor's got 10k, 3k in the bank as well, so he can afford to take some bad fights as long as he kills some of MaxPax's stuff, because MaxPax is going to have a very difficult time replacing literally anything in this army. So many changelings have died this game. I wish it would tell us how many changelings have died, but they don't cost money, so they don't tell us. Too bad. MaxPax's army is looking quite scary. I mean, 5 carriers, 5 Tempests, Archons, Storm, 12 Immortals. It's a powerful army. Raynor's going to have to be careful when he engages. He's only on 60 drones, so while he has a big bank, He's not going to have a lot of mining behind this necessarily, but I don't think he really needs it. He's also going to have a much bigger army because of that. And I think he needs to do this to close that army gap a little bit. Nidus gets handled. Rainer wants to move in over here. Honestly, it almost feels like he could take this army right now. Oh, we got some Vipers coming out. It's going to be one Yoink and one dead carrier. Rainer just has to be somewhat cost efficient. He doesn't actually have to take great trades. He just needs to take close to even trades. Oh, a beautiful fungal. And these Tempests going to have such a tough time escaping. They're not going for the escape. They're trying to land some storms. But that's going to be a lot of dead units. Parasitic Bomb going down as well. Just dealing a ton of damage to these units. The shields all off of the air units right now. And at the same time, the Hydras, they're winning this fight over here. Immortal's just not great against Hydras. And Rainer, I mean, he's put himself in a fantastic position here. MaxPax is out of money. He's got this base mining, finally. But is it just too little too late? Rainer still has 8.5k, almost 4k gas in the bank. He can replenish this army for days. And that is just not the case for MaxPax. He's fighting with what he has. He's actually going to have a tough time replacing the interceptors, let alone the actual army units. He does have a lot of storm. The Broodlords are kind of trying to deal with. 7 High Templar down there. Rainer keeping an eye on this base to make sure that's not getting taken. As the Corruptors dive back in, they just grab another carrier and leave. Again, even if Rainer's losing some Corruptors, this is an excellent trade for him. Carriers take so long to build, and MaxPax just doesn't have the ability to I mean, we see it right now, right? He's out of money, and he's not anywhere near maxed. And that's MaxPax's problem at the moment. And Broodlord's maybe getting a little bit close there. I kind of feel like if Rainer fought with his whole army, there's no way MaxPax could actually take that fight. I don't know. I mean, Storm's pretty good, but that Oracle just got destroyed mid-yoink. Didn't even get to really yoink it. Just absolutely crushed it. Looks like MaxPax's going to try to take that gold as the Zealot run-by has been handled. But right now, he's just long-distance mining from it. Trying to find an army, trying to take a good engagement. The trades have been very good for Rainer in this game. And I don't think that's going to change too soon here. I mean, MaxPax gets a kill on a base. And Corruptors, or Carriers trying to take a good fight there. Killed a couple of Broodlords. Rainer still has a massive bank, though. Zealot run by handle, but 14 more drones go down. But is Rainer just going to replace those with army units? The answer is yes. Oh, Storm's coming in here. But the Broodlords and the Lurkers pushing away the ground army. I heard a High Templar die. That's a unit that's tough to replace. And at the same time, we have a counterattack. Ling Hydra Ultra diving in here. Super Shield Battery will buy a tiny bit of time, but not much, as these units are cracking through the wall. Once that wall is down, it's probably not going to get replaced. More carriers getting targeted here as Rainer. He smells blood in the water. He says you don't have a ground army to stop these carriers from doing the Corruptors from jumping on the carriers anymore. And as MaxPax loses his last few carriers, GG gets called. Rainer ties up the series 2-2 and brings us to the ace match. GG. What a game. To be fair, it's not that easy to just kill a toss army like this. No, it's not. It's really not. It just goes to show you how difficult those fights can be to take. And one thing I've really noticed from the Zerg players who are very good in the late game is how incredibly patient they are. Dark, Dark will not take a fight until he is ready to take that fight. And he'll wait and wait and wait and just buy time. And then the moment he's got a good engagement, he strikes. And I honestly, in late game ZvP, I don't know if I've seen anybody take fights as good as I have seen Dark take them. Dark, it'll feel like he's behind. It'll feel like he doesn't have the right army, and he'll still just kill the Protoss army. It's crazy how good he is against late game Protoss air units. So crazy good. But yeah, Raynor being very careful with it. He knows how easy it can be to get a little overconfident, a little cocky, and get Max Packs back into the game. There is a world in which Raynor overcommits, and even though he can replenish his army, he might lose a base in the meantime. He might give ground to Max Packs where Max Packs can now expand, and Raynor can't do anything about it. And suddenly Max Packs could be on even economy with the same size army, and that becomes a much more dangerous position. So I really appreciate the patience there of our Zerg player. And as we hop in to Site Delta, this is the final map of this best of 5 of this grand finals. Spotting in the lower right hand corner, we have Systrom Gaming's Max Packs, making that game look doable from what I would call a very dead position, but not quite able to close it out at all because his opponent looked real strong that game. Just kept the man down. In the upper left hand corner, it is Basilisk's Raynor. I will say again, that was the first game of this series where Raynor didn't try anything cheeky at the start, and Max Packs didn't have like super heavy aggression early on. You know, as we saw in games 1 and 2, Raynor was trying to take more difficult to defend bases. Game 1, it did not work out for him with the gold base and the rich Vespian guys. Or game 2, it did work out for him. He went for roaches. I do believe the roaches won game 2. And then, yeah, Max Packs' heavy aggression in game 3. Again, really using the map Amphiante's advantage. But yeah, game 4, first time we really got to see just kind of standard openings, standard pressure, and got to see where it led. And it led to Raynor being in a very good spot. Like, by the time Max Packs was getting carriers out, ooh, it felt like a last-ditch effort. It felt like he was getting them out because, you know, he was set up for it, and he might as well try to hold on with them, but he was certainly in a dire position by the time that air army was popping out there. So, on this map, another pretty standard map here. Max Packs, I think he's going to have to get something going, get some aggression cooking. We have seen Glaive to Depths be very popular, or at least I have. I don't know if that's the case in Europe, but right now, like Classic, he's been going Glaive to Depths every single game against Zerg. Just constantly, like non-stop. It's kind of insane. The last series I posted on my YouTube, he just did the same build every game because it was good. And it's just, I mean, it's so standard, but it's been working really, really well for him. I saw him do it this past KSL as well, I believe. Where it's just the Stargate Oracles, Twilight Council, you have 4 gates, and you just hit with a bunch of adepts behind it, third base, get up to 66 probes, and get into like a strong follow-up army. Immortals and Sentries usually making up the majority of it, so you have a follow-up attack ready. It's really strong. He's been killing nerds with it left and right. So, be interested to see if Max Packs tries to pull anything like that off, because he for sure could do it. And those Glaive to Depths can catch you off guard. There's one thing that Classic was doing that made it really tough, I think, for the Zerg player to know what the build was, which we saw last game Max Packs pressuring with like 5 Adepts. And that pretty much always goes into Blink Stalkers. Because if you're going Glaive to Depths, you don't really want to lose your Adepts, so you don't usually pressure with them. But Classic was doing that pressure anyways, and I think it kept throwing off Dark on whether or not he was going to go for glaive to depths. You just can't tell. You need to kind of just be ready for anything, and that's a tough spot to be in as Zerg, where you need to know how to react differently to different builds. And these two adepts are going to sneak in here. Only going to get 2 drones, a little bit of lost mining time. So good defense there from Raynor. Third base is on the way here for MaxPax. But guys, I feel like am I the Oracle? Am I one of these oracles? Because this is a Twilight Council with no Forge. I feel like this is Glaives. Am I crazy? Oh! I can see through time. I can see through dimensions, guys. He's doing the build. This is literally like exactly the thing I was talking about. And because MaxPax has been so much on the blink train in this series, I wonder if Raynor's going to be expecting it. If you're not ready for this, Queen Ling really, really struggles to deal with this. You kind of need like Roaches or Banes. You can defend Queen Ling. It's just hard. And yeah, MaxPax coming out with the Adepts once again, saying, hey, look, it's the same pressure. Don't worry about it. It's just Blink Stalkers behind this. But it absolutely is not. Glaives is already 3/4 of the way done. And MaxPax should be having a lot more Adepts come across the map shortly. Roachborn is on the way here for Raynor. He's got +1 melee coming up, but neither of those are going to be finished by the time these Glaives Adepts hit. I'm starting to get a little worried here for Raynor. See if he can defend his bases appropriately against what is going to be 14 Adepts with Glaives. I feel like this is a great Game 5 build for MaxPax after he's gone Blink Stalkers every other game so far. Oh, but Raynor spotted this. He's going to get the full wall up towards the main base in the natural here. He's going to get a nice surround, nice surface area. Queen's just doing a lot of damage here. Now, a lot of these Lings are going to go down. But the Adepts are not killing any drones so far. Gonna get over to the third base. Oracle's looking to maybe help out as well. The Adepts thinking of shading in here to the natural, and they will in fact, but the Roachborn has had time to finish now. Lings bought enough time for them, and the Roaches are out. Oh my god, Raynor on 63 drones. Not losing a single drone? I mean, I think those Adepts earlier killed those. Maybe he lost 1 to this. That's incredible. That is genuinely incredible. The way he was able to get this wall up, keep the drones safe. Really, really nicely done there by Raynor. And this build, this looked like a fantastic build choice out of MaxPax. I still think it was. But it didn't get nearly as much damage done as I thought it would. In fact, it didn't really get any damage done. If we look at the trades, pretty much even here. A lot of Lings died, but I mean, who cares, right? You hold, you keep your drones alive. That's way more important. And now Raynor's got a 4th up. He's up at 70 workers. Dark's going to want this replay, I think. Dark has been struggling against this lately. MaxPax does have a follow-up, though. His +1 is done. He's got Blink almost finished up. And a Robobay on the way here as well. So MaxPax is heading in towards Colossi and or Disruptors. Fun stuff. In the meantime, he's going to hit with the Glaive Adepts and the Blink Stalkers. It's going to be tough for Raynor to hold on against. Got to get enough units out. Queen's here going to buy some time for the Ravagers to start morphing. Oh, Adepts threatening to shade in. To the third base, distracting some of these units. This is a good position for MaxPax to fight from as well. He's got the high ground advantage here that he can pull back to. Ooh, some biles are connecting, though. We could see a bit of a wraparound here if Raynor wanted to try that. They stasis traps. Going to try to catch a few Lings here, but I don't think they're going to catch too much. Actually, doesn't end up catching anything. 6 drones did go down in the meantime, but Raynor's still on a good worker count behind this. Still continuing to hold on to his 4 bases. MaxPax has a 4th started up back at home. The stasis trap does catch a few of these Lings. MaxPax, again, not fully committed or anything behind this. He starts up a Colossus. Just trying to get some damage done, but it looks like the Adepts are largely dead. And it's mostly just the Blink Stalkers at this point as the Prism picks up that Immortal to get out of there. It's going to have to pick up its friend, too. And Raynor is pushing this completely back. Stalkers continuing to retreat, but a few of them going down on the retreat even. +1 melee Lings chewing through them. Oh, the Oracles popping a couple of Ravagers here. Really nice use for these Oracles. You see the top Protoss doing this consistently. It's going to be 3, I think just 2 dead Ravagers. So really, really nice. Raynor going to grab a 5th base. He doesn't really have much tech behind this, it seems. But he is getting into Bane speed now, so he can get some Banelings morphing. But he doesn't have anything to deal with the Colossus. I feel like he doesn't realize there's a Colossus behind this. He doesn't have vision of the Robo Bay. And I don't believe he's gone up here. So the Colossi are going to surprise him a little bit. It's not nice to be surprised by Colossi. I like that MaxPax is even keeping this back so it doesn't get accidentally killed in this fight. There's 2 ways to answer Colossi. You either have such a split and a surround that they can't splash damage everything down, and oh my god, MaxPax moving forward. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Look at the amount of space Raynor is going to hit from. He's hitting from 270 degrees here, and there's nowhere for MaxPax to micro to. He goes back to his super shield battery, but he's caught between a rock and a hard place. The Baneling's rolling forward. He's getting back towards his natural. Can he actually hold on here? The Baneling's trying to smash in. We're seeing Banelings kill Colossi. The wall gets taken down. 1 Colossus stays alive with 29 kills. 10 probes went down, but on the other side of the map, a few Adepts get in. There's a War Prism here. 13 drones went down. That looked really, really good for Raynor, but MaxPax microing beautifully, actually taking not a terrible fight there. And at the same time, being able to deal damage on the other side of the map. This went from, it looked like MaxPax was about to die, I'll be honest with you. But the fact that he was able to sneak out of there, get back to his natural, keep 1 Colossus alive at the very least, and do economic damage at the same time. I mean, Raynor's in a terrible spot economically right now, and he has not stopped producing units. He has absolutely no chill for the time being. He has decided to spend all of his money on units and just go, go, go. It's a dangerous move, though, because he doesn't have an economy to fall back on, which means he needs to get some economic damage here. He knows this 4th base exists, so he's going to rotate around towards that. At the same time, he's getting into the natural. The wall was back up, but there's nobody in the door. And the Lings are getting in, and oh my god, these Lings are tearing the probes to shreds. And suddenly, MaxPax goes from a great position to down 45 workers. I don't think these Zealots are going to get comparable damage over here. Maybe they can kill that hatch. That's the only hope for MaxPax right now, but I don't think they're going to be able to finish it off. And, this is insane. This base even taking a lot of damage from the Lings. 48 probes go down. Some Ravagers do get left behind. MaxPax down to 33 workers. He's down in army supply. And Raynor, they just looked like such a tough position for him. He had no concrete answer to the Colossi. Still doesn't. But just down economically, and then he gets the damage done. And oh my god, again, MaxPax, close your door. Oh, the Robo's going to get taken down before the next Prism is out. The Lings will get cleaned up in the main base, but the natural base goes down. This Pylon going to get hit again and taken out again. And MaxPax, I mean, his base is just in shambles right now. 4th base is finally dead as well. MaxPax knocked down to 2 Nexuses, barely any mining, 32 probes. Not that any more than that would be particularly helpful. He's running out of mineral patches in the main. This is a terrible spot for MaxPax. I think he just has to go and hope that the 3 Colossi, the Archons, and the Stalkers can do this. Raynor, this is going to be a tough fight. He's going to just leave his 5th base to die, and I think that's a great call here. Just buy a little bit more time, get a few more units out. Baneling's going to smash forward. Ooh, hold on. Raynor diving in here. Super shield battery is turned on. Ling's still trying to chew through it. Here's the Banelings coming in, smashing into the Stalkers. A lot of them are low. They're going down. The Colossi, they're starting to fall. And I think this is just going to be about it. Even if the last of these units stay alive for a little while here, MaxPax just has nothing behind this. I mean, he's getting damaged on, though. 18 more drones fall. Rainer's base is not in a great spot. It looks like he's going to be able to keep this 4th base alive, but I mean, MaxPax is still mining. He's still in this. Rainer's under 100 supply. Hold on. I thought this went a lot better for Rainer than it did. Taking all that damage behind this, yes, MaxPax's mining is hot garbage right now. Actually, it might be cold garbage. I don't know which one's better. It's terrible either way. But Rainer's is not much better. If MaxPax's is hot garbage, Rainer's is warm garbage. I feel like that's where we're at right now. And Rainer's, like, unit composition is really low tech, right? It's Roach, Ravager, and Zergling right now. He doesn't even have any Banelings at the moment. He's just fighting on this lair tech, this hatch tech, honestly. And MaxPax, he only has 1 Colossus left, though, even though it has 28 kills. That unfortunately doesn't give it any sort of a buff. And other than that, it's also fairly low tech. He does have a couple of Archons, which can help out, but can Rainer clean this up? Can he push this army back? He's got the bigger army supply, but a lot of it is in these Roaches. There's just not a lot of anti-Roach for MaxPax, though, and I feel like the Roaches are going to be the answer here. Oh, even biles down the stasis trap. Rainer might be too good. He might be too good here. Oh, as I say that, another stasis trap does connect, but MaxPax is just going to tap out as he just cannot keep fighting, cannot keep it up. And Rainer finally closes that one out. Man, MaxPax made that way closer than I thought it was going to be. But GG. Rainer takes the 3-2 victory off of MaxPax in this week's EPT Cup Finals. An absolute banger of a finals, as you expect from these two. What a game. What a match. Thank you guys for watching.